Hello everyone, it's Night Owl Nina Tarot. This evening you might hear some sirens in the background. That is because we are receiving a severe weather alert. There is a really huge thunderstorm. Who knows, it might be additionally a tornado watch or warning or something, but it's kind of perfect for what I had in mind for us this evening, this late night owl nighttime. Sorry about that. Let's use my little chime candle to light my other candle. Is everyone obsessed with this sort of candle? It's so good. What is this brand called? Ludlow Luna. Oh, their candles are gorgeous. So tonight we are trying out a deck edit. Let me show you all of the decks that I have out and arranged for us. Can you see? Look at this. We are going to start this edit with what inspired it, which was Tarot of Haunted House. That is what this deck is called. I edged it in this blue color. It's a blue Sharpie. It doesn't say the name of the color, but if you happen to buy a multi-pack of Sharpies of multiple colors, then this will probably be one of them. It's so pretty. Isn't it eerie? The sirens. So I purchased Tarot of Haunted House, and I'm not saying the title incorrectly. That is actually what it's called. Tarot of Haunted House. I think this will be deck edit of Thunderstorm or edit of Stormy Night, something like that, just in honor of Tarot of Haunted House. I got this deck because I wanted something this past Halloween to read for people with. I do these free readings at a tiny bar down the street from me, and I wanted Halloween type decks, and this certainly fit the bill, but then it ended up being such a cool deck. It's so interesting. There's a story being told. Here's the Fool, who is also the main character in the story, and she comes upon this haunted house, and everything is through that lens. So I think this would be fantastic for shadow work, but we're just using it for our dark, what is it? Edit of Thunderstorm, edit of Dark Storm, something like that. Edit of Storm's Siren. So let's take a look at the cards first. There's the Star. Let's see if I can get you out of the ring light. There we go. So there's the Star. Why don't we start with her? And let's see how it works with the beautiful Urban Crow. Oh, wow. That works really nicely. I want to move this more to the center, but then you cannot see. Oh well, okay. We'll be like that. Also the Star card with the card of protection and the Urban Crow Oracle. Love the way these colors are picking up on each other and the whole vibe of them. Urban Crow is so cool. That MJ Cullinane deck. Sasha Graham is the author of Tarot of Haunted House. Like, you know, it's a Lo Scarabeo deck, so she's usually the author. and Mirko Pier Federici is the designer. Let's add in something else. Let's see. Let's add in something of a different style. This is the Nocturna Oracle. Oh, that works too. Whoa. Okay. The star, she's praying. Looks like she's in the water and seeking protection. And here's a mountain lion who appears to be coming out of the night. Very beautiful. This Nocturna Oracle by Megan Wyreweden, who goes by Creeping Moon, I believe, is her creator name, or their creator name, I should say. I showed this in my VR to Nova Monday Reader's Mass Market must-haves. I took these three oracles, these three pocket oracles by Athene Noctua, and put them together. So it's the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle, the Fated Pocket Love Oracle, and the Crystal Ball Pocket Oracle. I like these. I think they're all talking. That's great. Let's flip through a little bit. So we start over here with Oracle of Sacred Space. And then we've got this gorgeous Nine of Pentacles. Above it, we have the Witch's Runic Oracle with a swan for gifts and partnership. And lavender, which is such a healing flower. How would we use this in a reading? Let's say this is the heart of the matter. The Nine of Pentacles. She holds her falcon. Her falcon's not pictured with its typical hood, but this is Tarot of Haunted House. They're doing their own thing. So if she's the heart of the matter, if this feeling of autonomy, security, pleasure, all of these, very grounded, earthly, secure pleasures of life, they have to be in balance with this partnership, with this idea of sacrifice and gifts and honor. So let's say this is what's happening above the heart of the matter. What is necessary for this to happen, I would say, is a sacred space. And the sacred space includes healing lavender. I know that's a bit vague, but I think that's how I would see this as a reading. That what's crucial right now for a person receiving this as the heart of the matter, here's what they need to work on. They need to create sacred space. They need to be surrounded by healing, natural healing. I was about to say substances, but I don't think lavender is a substance. Materials, let's say. And that this will yield the gifts and the partnership that they're hoping for. Perhaps this is their wish. Let's try again. We have the Temperance. Just these two women sitting at a bar. Preparation. The Serpent in the Witch's Runic familiar, and the bat. Oh, I already love the energies of all of this. So if temperance is the heart of the matter, if finding that middle ground, finding a way to protect your peace and stay grounded while not losing touch with the divine and all that's mysterious in your life, finding this balance requires preparation. It looks like they're preparing perhaps their nest, or perhaps they're gathering food for the winter, or gathering materials for their nest. But the idea of preparation is something that will give you that peace of mind. Let's look at the bat next. The bat, which perches itself in order to restore itself before hunting in the night. So this is a hanging bat, not yet out, not yet on the hunt. And then the higher ideals: fate, good omen, the occult, and initiation. So the preparation, the restoration, maintaining peace will allow this initiation, perhaps a shedding of skin, but a good omen, a new twist of fate. Yeah, I think these are beautiful together. Very happy. Next up, let's start with the Horror Tarot. This is an incredible deck. It's part of the 3 that were released last year by, I believe, a group called the Unemployed Philosophers Guild. I got all 3 of those decks from La Panthère, and I'll have it linked in the description. But they created tarot cards based on horror movie posters, and a lot of them are very close to the original poster. This is, the Chariot card. The warrior drives at night under a crescent moon. He had no hands on the wheel. He steers by force of will. Nothing can stop the chariot. So, already incredible. Let's see who wants to pair with this. The crystal? Not sure about that. All right, we'll see. Shall we try Coastal Curiosities? A deck by brilliant artist Lennox Reese. This oracle keeps surprising me. I'm like, oh, it's so wholesome. It's so pretty, and the colors are so bright. And then it goes with incredibly dark decks. I don't know how they talk, but they really do. This is yet another example of that. Let's try a very teeny tiny deck. Let's try the Dark Wood Mini. So how does that pair? Oh, that might be too tiny. Let's try Memento Mori. So difficult. How about you? You might even be too small. All right, much more satisfying. So here we're back with our Witch's Runic Oracle. We've got the Chariot in this position, in the central position. Coastal Curiosities on the left, and the Crystal Oracle, one of the incredibly beautiful Broccoli magazine oracles. So let's read through these. We've got the Chariot, Risk. These two seem very, very easily in alignment. On the right, we've got zircon with keywords reincarnation, timelessness, and respect. Reincarnation, timelessness, and respect. And then above us, we have manaz, representing, I believe that's a meerkat, representing society, awareness, intelligence, and humanity. I love these huge moons that are behind the little witches' familiars. To make this into a reading, nothing can stop the chariot. Respect, risk, intelligence, humanity. So this action and the chariot itself, especially the way it's portrayed here, seems very self-involved. This is involved in this warrior driving, taking risk, maybe being extremely reckless, it looks like. And then on the other side of this, we have reincarnation, timelessness, and respect. Like, are they taking this risk because these are the things they want? They want to reincarnate perhaps into a more evolved being. They want to be timeless, they want to be remembered, and they want respect. So is that why they're taking this risk? And then above them, in the position above, perhaps representing what they're not thinking about, and they're not working with maybe the highest self, which is here, which is this awareness, intelligence, humanity, thinking of the greater good. Yeah, that's how I would read these four. Let's try another flip. Oh my gosh, what a horrifying Queen of Wands. So fabulous. The Queen of Wands. Very brightly colored skeleton. Pursue on the left. Gypsum, softness, growth, shape-shifting, fabulous on the right. And then above it, need, resistance, efforts, delays. And it looks like a bear behind a crescent moon. So if we're reading this, the Queen of Wands with all of her courage and confidence, and she's in pursuit of her desires and balances that with softness. I think that's such a good balance to recognize in the Queen of Wands, because she's so hot, she's so fiery, creative, charismatic, and a leader, and the very tip top of that suit. And so on one half of her is in pursuit of all that she desires, but the other half of her is about softness and growth and shape shifting, and that feels like interiority. It feels like she has this other side to her that is structurally within her and holding her up, but what we see is we see this pursuit. And then above her, let's think about this as the highest self again, is her need, her real need for, with this bear here, is it a bear? No, it's a badger. Oh, even better. Such a powerful creature. Need, resistance, efforts, delays. It feels like these are things that she's hiding. these work. Beautiful butterfly. All right, the 9 of Wands. I love that they put this movie poster text down here. Survival is a matter of perseverance and vice versa. Excellent. Excellent for the 9 of Wands. Yes, you're persevering, but in order to survive. And one half of you is these mushrooms developing, and the butterflies develop. Yes, this is developing character. This is developing a strong work ethic, courage. And then on the other hand, foundation, fusion, shelter. So all of this energy in the developing, surviving, perseverance. But what is needed on the other side is this mason, the foundation, the fusion, the shelter. So needing that groundedness, even though it's so high up in the suit of wands. And then the higher self, a butterfly again, transformation, enlightenment, breakthrough. Yeah, I think that's what comes if you can make it through, and if you can maintain your own structural integrity, then you get to transform. Yeah, very nice. All right, I'm loving creating an edit so far. All right, another part of edit of Thunderstorm. I'm already pleased with how these look together, but I was really hoping to include the dark wood. Let's see. Maybe if I split it, that will work. Let's move these down. It's just so many. But for some reason, I feel that it needs to be in this edit. I do not know why. Okay. All right, let's try it. Let's try. Just for aesthetics. We have to give these things a shot. So we have Le Tarot aux ramures étranges, the Tarot of Strange Antlers. Underneath it, Feminine Myths Oracle. On the left, we have the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. And on the right, the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle. And then, of course, we have our mini dark wood on either side. Let's read this, see how it goes. So we have the Three of Cups, this amazing, very pagan feeling, a little bit hippie feeling of celebration here. I'll read the large cards first. So we have Three of Cups. Underneath that, we have Ocean, a really powerful goddess in, cannot remember what tradition. I'll look it up. On the left, we have the card for the moon. Let me make sure you can see that. Which is an oracle card about, and it says satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. And on the right here, we have a card of sublimation and spiritual magic, which suggests to me that Perhaps there has been sublimation of spiritual magic. In the midst of this is ocean. And on the left, we have the moon, which, just for the moment, thinking of it in the tarot interpretation, instead of satisfying emotional needs, nurture self and others, this, of course, makes me think of the sublimation of spiritual magic. It does make me think about the primordial waters that you get into when you start to discover the moon aspects of yourself. In the tiny dark wood, we have the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. The dark wood is also a really effective shadow deck. I think Edit of Thunderstorm might also work as edit of shadow decks. But here's the 9 of Wands, imprisoned by their own project. And here's the 7 of Cups. It looks like bats are flying overhead in this card. But even using their size as a way to read them and understand them in this as a spread, I would see, to get here, let's say here's the aspiration, and these 3 cards represent the 3 figures, that it feels like these are things to observe, watch out for, make sure you don't sublimate your own magic. You tap into the ancient goddess, ocean, and you tap into your own highest self, most hidden self, your dreams, your deepest, most inexplicable intuitions. And then careful, because the angel and devil on your shoulder here, that's how I'll read these, are the 9 of Wands telling you, oh, I'm so burnt out, I don't want to fight anymore. And the 7 of Cups saying, but I just have so many choices, I can't choose. So I guess that's 2 negative voices. Aren't you supposed to have a positive one on one shoulder? Well, not in this, not in Darkwood. Yeah, I think these do look really nice together. Let's flip through. Oh, another star card. All right. Here's star, the aspiration. And I need to look up what Azili Dantor is. Beautiful depiction by Anna Novines. On our left, we have fixed, referring to the fixed signs and their qualities of stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. Over here, we have Uranus, indicating, let me try and get out of that light, indicating spark of genius and ascension. And then we have, interesting, the symmetry of these 2 images. So one of her angels is saying, listen to the moon part of yourself, even as you're staring at the star giving you hope. Draw on the moon part of yourself. And they're both submerged in water, both looking up. Looks like both have their eyes closed. It's really nice. I love visual symmetry. And the Hierophant over here, telling you institutional wisdom. That's what you need to be working on. So that's the other side. That's the other angel telling you, work on your studies, stay in school. And the stars, the Aquarius, there's no way. They're like, ugh, makes no sense. We don't like structure. But they would be watching out for, as they cultivate this hope, as they cultivate a healing process for themselves, they're thinking on one side, yes, all I want to do is dive deepest into my own intuitive waters, and I want to find the secrets there. And then on the other hand is the almost exact opposite, with this Hierophant being a beautiful tree trunk in this card, and the Hierophant teaching from the institutional wisdom, teaching from books, nothing experiential about this teaching. Yeah, very nice. One more flip. Oh, the Three of Pentacles. Oh, how nice to see the Three of Pentacles with Gaia underneath all this earth energy. And then on the left here, we have trine, an astrological term for certain positionings, I think, of certain planets. And angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. That's incredible for this Three of Pentacles energy that's being aspired to. Of course, the groundedness of Gaia, Mother Earth, and then a shadow release. So all of these things necessary for these figures to be able to work together to create something bigger, bigger than the sum of its parts, as they say. But putrefaction, shadow release. Whew. And then what are their little angels on their shoulders saying? Five of Wands. So watch out for competition in this, and don't you be competitive, perhaps. And then another five of Pentacles. But as you work, try not to give into a feeling of lack. You just don't have enough. You'll never get enough. Try to let go of that while you're doing this teamwork project, whatever it is. Okay, let's just look at a couple more. All right, so I've used all the decks that I chose for the edit. I want to try a different combination of them. We'll be using the same ones, but let's just see how they work in various other configurations. Tarot of Haunted House. We'll once again provide our anchor. Oh, beautiful. It's the Two of Wands, and the person in their future planning is using a Ouija board. How funny. And then let's put this with our Black Moon Lilith on one side. Oh, all these glary decks. No. Let's see. Oh, my word. We're going to have to move them this way and this way. We will put very, very matte decks in the center. Let's try Feminine Myths and perhaps the Horror Tarot. I hope this one's it's not too glossy. Not too bad. Okay. Let's look at these and put together. Oh, I'm starting to really understand the satisfaction of a deck edit. Now I just have this big group of decks and they all look cool together. Oh, I just love, I love when there's visual, when they speak to each other visually. That is just, it's just so cool. How would I read this? I'm divining the future. I'm asking the spirits for what is my future? And then I'm digging deep into my intuition, channeling all of my Queen of the Underworld energy. And then we have another Two of Wands. Can you imagine? Look at this. How did this even happen? And then we've got Black Moon, Lilith, and Aquarius. Honor your individuality. Gorgeous. So we've got 2 cards of these plans. Are you prepared for your journey? And using intuition to prepare for next steps. And then we've got the Queen of Intuition, this Queen of the Underworld, Persephone. And then on the other hand, we have the Black Moon, Lilith, and Aquarius, honoring individuality, honoring authenticity. For these both to be the Two of Wands, it's making me think that this reading is supposed to be telling us that for the upcoming journey, it's about being authentic, and it is about working with your deepest intuition. Yeah, let's do a flips. What is it with this deck? It's so campy. It's great. Oh, you can see all of these little stickers and things. If they don't look like they go with the deck, they do not. I have been slowly modding this deck because I don't like disrupting the flow or energy of a reading by having to go to the guidebook. So I wanted to I'm just going to start labeling all of my decks that do not have keywords, oracle decks that don't have keywords. But let's look at this. We have the 9 of Cups over here, very menacing looking, with a painting behind him of the original RWS card. Sorry for all the movement. It's just getting around this glare. But looking very self-satisfied, but also very creepy. What's going on with his neck? And then we have the Aztec Mother of Life and Death. So beautiful. And then here we have the Hierophant. And look at him. He sees through this material world and into your very soul. And then we've got Conjunction, becoming whole again. Oh, these cards are so glossy, but they're so great. So how would I read this? We start off, we're satisfied, we're almost completely emotionally fulfilled, but we're at that 9. We have to take one more step towards complete fulfillment, complete wholeness. In the midst of this, we have the Aztec Mother of Life and Death. We have serpents behind her. She's looking down. Her anatomical heart is highlighted. So perhaps it feels like while he's very worried about his, or feeling very smug and confident about his social life and his social connections, that there is something much larger looming over him, and that is thoughts of mortality, true life and death. And then we've got the Hierophant here, who, of course, is drawing on all of that wisdom, all of the teachings of whatever the faith practice is, whatever the reflective practices are that he's learned from larger institutions, from larger religions or systems. And then finally, becoming whole again. This to me is just suggesting that he's not whole here. He's very smug, but deep down, we have her looming over him. And he might want to start with this institutional knowledge. Perhaps that would make him feel more comfortable than going deepest into intuition. But if he can even do this, he will become whole again. Yeah, very beautiful. The whole concept of edits. So far, just such a fan. Right. Oh, we've got the sublimation card again. All right, look at this outrageous Emperor. Do you see why I love this deck? This is just, it's like, it feels like the shadow, but also a little bit of a satire version of the Emperor with these big heads on the wall. He's holding this huge gun. He's the ultimate colonizer Emperor for sure. So another very, very smug person in what appears to be a state of great overconfidence. And then we have this Yoruban goddess, Oya. Oh, how perfect. Oh my gosh. Goddess of storms, death, and rebirth. This is Tarot of Thunderstorm. Oh, excuse me. Edit of Thunderstorm, Oya. Amazing. This Yoruban goddess. Now she's the one hanging over him. He might have a rifle, but she has her lightning. Fantastic. And then we've got the Eight of Swords, the trapped figure. Featuring isolation, abandonment, and restriction. I love these fake posters. And they really do get across the feeling. It's not... as much as it would be easy to read these, all three of the decks, the pulp tarot, horror, the sci-fi, they're deep decks. This immediately gives you an image to work from. So the Eight of Swords, that feeling of being trapped in your own thoughts, going over and over your abandonment, the way that you have maybe imposed upon yourself some restriction, a feeling of isolation. And then sublimation. This card is up again. Well, she really wants to speak to us this evening. Sublimation and spiritual magic. It feels like these are the cards telling us how to heal. These are the cards filled with an energy that is difficult to deal with. So between the overthinking, the neurosis, this feeling of being trapped, even though you're not, you're trapped by your thoughts, and this feeling of a strictness, an authority that has gone way too far in his estimation of himself. And so in the midst of that, what will shake them up are the storms and the rebirth. and enclosing a connection to spiritual magic. Yeah. Perhaps let's add just a couple more. We'll just have a little bit of a blowout for this last one. There we go. I hear you. Oh, Jean-Luc might have to come on the desk again. So let's do Pocket Oracle. And uh-oh, this is becoming dangerously huge. But that's so fun. Let's get into the Nocturna. Maybe here. Yes, definitely. Coastal Curiosities. Oh no, my composition is gone. Now it's just lines. Let's fix them. Just. Well, that does not look better. That looks worse. That's okay though. Let's look at them talking to each other. Oh, so cool. Let's see. Crystals, no. Well, I'm very pleased with this. Let's try combining. There he is. Beautiful boy. Let's try combining the other ones left over. All right. A other half of the deck's edit in a new configuration. They are talking to each other, but I am now finding this many different decks overwhelming, too overwhelming to create a spread from or to do some reading. I say that, but then let's see if I take a stab at it. All right, so we have the 10 of Cups in our mini tarot and the Hermit here. Because of the size differential, even though, and look at this central, like the white glow. I guess this, you wouldn't call this central, but we're seeing white surrounded by gray, white surrounded by gray. So I'm gonna say that the 10 of Cups depicted here is what the Hermit is thinking about. That's how it feels. That's good, Sean. So the Hermit is retreating to think about, I don't know, make plans for or understand what her relationship is to the 10 of Cups. If it is aspirational, how can she get herself there? And then below the 10 of Cups is the Quartz Crystal Oracle, essence, oracularity, and precision. She looks very thoughtful too. Oh, good boy. There we go. And so she is pensive and faced in the other direction. Can we even concentrate with someone so beautiful creature? Look at the ear fluff. And then below we have the North Node, destined to have. So that's very good news for this hermit aspiring to this fulfillment, this emotional fulfillment in their life. Next to it, we see gifts being gathered by the crow. Things that we would not think of as gifts. These objects that perhaps I'm seeing, like these two really speaking to each other. Essence, oracularity, precision, and then, you know, one man's trash, one man's treasure, one woman's trash, one woman's treasure, or persons, let's say. Let's keep it wide open. And then eventually grand. All these objects leading up to grand. I think it's, I mean, for this hermit, it's a genuinely lovely reading. And you have a cat purring on top of the reading, so I think your destiny can only be perceived as good. We can only say that whatever turn of fate is coming is magnifique. Good night, everyone. See you next time. Thanks for staying with me on my adventures in deck edit. Ciao for now.